Duskmoor. The name itself hung in the air like a whispered threat, a chilling echo of fear and mystery. It painted pictures of perpetual twilight, of mist-wreathed trees and a silence so profound it felt like a living presence, an entity that watched and waited. It was a place where the sun dared not shine, held captive by a curse as old as time itself, a curse that seemed to seep into the very soil and air. Legend spoke of a monstrous beast, the source of Duskmoor's eternal twilight, a creature born of darkness and despair. Its eyes burned like embers in the perpetual dusk, its roar a symphony of the damned, echoing through the trees like a mournful wail. It was said to be a creature of shadow and rage, a nightmare given form, a terror that thrived in the absence of light. Its very existence was a blight on the land, a constant reminder of the darkness that held sway, a darkness that seemed to grow with each passing year. Villages bordering the cursed woods whispered tales of its ferocity, stories passed down through generations, each more terrifying than the last. They spoke of those who dared venture in, never to return, swallowed by the shadows and lost to the world. The lucky ones found their way back, babbling madmen, forever haunted by the horrors they had witnessed, their minds shattered by the darkness. Duskmoor was more than just a place. It was a warning, a testament to the dangers that lurked in the shadows. It was a testament to the darkness that lurked within the world, waiting to consume all who dared to venture too close. A reminder that some places are best left undisturbed. Fear was a constant companion to those who lived in the shadow of Duskmoor, a place where the sun seemed reluctant to shine. It seeped into their lives, colouring their every thought and action like an inescapable fog that clouded their minds. It was in the hushed tones they used when speaking of the beast, in the way they bolted their doors at night, as if trying to lock out the very essence of fear itself. Children grew up on tales of the beast of Duskmoor, their dreams haunted by its glowing eyes, a terror that lurked in the shadows of their imagination. Every rustle of leaves, every creak of a branch sent shivers down their spines, a constant reminder of the unseen dangers that surrounded them. The adults were no different, their faces etched with a weary acceptance of the darkness that clung to their lives, a darkness that seemed to grow with each passing day. Yet, with fear came a morbid fascination, a strange allure that drew them to the stories of the beast. Tales of the beast were whispered around flickering candlelight, each retelling more horrifying than the last, as if the darkness itself fed on their fear. The villagers clung to these stories, finding a strange comfort in shared terror, a bond forged in the crucible of their collective fear. The beast of Duskmoor was more than just a creature of legend. It was a symbol of their deepest fears, a manifestation of the darkness that resided in their hearts, a darkness that they could never fully escape. It was a constant reminder of their own mortality, of the fragility of life in the face of the unknown, a somber reflection of the human condition in the shadow of the unknown. Ivor bore the scars of Duskmoor on his very soul, each mark a reminder of the darkness he had faced. He had stared into the abyss, and the abyss had stared back, leaving an indelible mark on his spirit. Years ago, he had led a group of seasoned hunters into the heart of the cursed woods, determined to end the reign of the beast and lift the perpetual twilight from the land. They were brave, but perhaps too confident. But nothing could have prepared them for the horror that awaited, lurking in the shadows ready to strike. The beast had descended upon them with the fury of a storm, tearing through their ranks with terrifying ease, leaving chaos in its wake. Ivor barely escaped with his life, the image of his fallen comrades forever seared into his memory, a haunting reminder of their bravery and sacrifice. Haunted by the memory of that fateful night, Ivor made a vow, a solemn promise to himself and to the spirits of his lost friends. He would not rest until the beast was slain, until the sun shone once more upon Duskmoor, banishing the darkness forever. He would avenge his fallen comrades and free the land from the clutches of darkness, no matter the cost. His was a quest born of grief, fueled by a burning desire for vengeance, a fire that would not be quenched until justice was served. Ivor prepared for his journey with the methodical precision of a man who had stared death in the face and lived to tell the tale. He knew that facing the beast of Duskmoor was a suicide mission for most. He would need more than just courage and skill to survive. He needed an edge. He sought out the legendary swordsmith, Eldric, a man whose skill with metal was said to be unmatched. Eldric listened intently as Ivor recounted his tale, his eyes reflecting the flickering light of the forge. For weeks, Eldric toiled away, pouring all his skill and knowledge into crafting a blade unlike any other. Finally, it was ready. The sword, forged in the heart of a dying star, hummed with an energy that sent shivers down Ivor's spine. It was more than just a weapon. It was an extension of his will, a beacon of hope in the encroaching darkness. Section 5. Into the Forbidden Depths. Armed with his resolve and the legendary blade at his side, Ivor ventured into Duskmoor. The air grew heavy with an oppressive silence as he crossed the invisible boundary, the sunlight fading into an eternal twilight. It seemed to reach out to him with skeletal fingers, their branches bare of any sign of life. A thick mist clung to the ground, swirling around his feet like phantoms. The air was heavy with the scent of death that permeated this cursed land. Yet Ivor pressed on, his steps firm, his gaze unwavering. He moved with a grace that belied his size, his senses alert to every sound, every movement in the undergrowth. He was a hunter in his element, his every instinct honed by years of experience. Section 6. Signs of Decay. The deeper Ivor ventured into Duskmoor, the more oppressive the atmosphere became. The trees grew closer together, their branches intertwined, blocking out what little light remained. The air was thick with the stench of decay, and the silence was broken only by the drip of water from unseen branches. He found remnants of the beast's passing, shattered trees, bones picked clean and scattered like macabre toys. The beast was a force of nature, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Each sign of its passing fueled Ivor's determination. He was walking in the footsteps of a monster, but he refused to be daunted. He would find the beast, and he would end its reign of terror. He wasn't sure how long he had been walking. Time seemed to have lost all meaning within the confines of Duskmoor, but he pressed on, driven by a force greater than himself. Section 7. The Beast's Lair. The air grew noticeably colder as Ivor pushed deeper into the heart of Duskmoor. The oppressive silence was broken by a low growl that seemed to emanate from the very earth itself. He had found it. He emerged into a clearing, the ground littered with bones picked clean of any flesh. In the centre stood a cave, its entrance shrouded in an unnatural darkness. The growl emanated from within, sending shivers down his spine. This was the lair of the beast of Duskmoor. Drawing his sword, Ivor felt the energy of the blade course through his veins. He took a deep breath, steeling himself for the confrontation to come. There was no turning back. He had come too far, sacrificed too much. This was his destiny. Section 8. A shadow unveiled. The beast lunged from the darkness, a whirlwind of claws and teeth. Ivor, anticipating the attack, rolled aside, the beast's claws tearing through the air where he had been standing a moment before. The clearing was bathed in an eerie green light as the beast roared, its eyes burning like hot coals. It was a creature out of a nightmare, its flesh a patchwork of scars and rotting flesh. Ivor met its gaze, his own eyes unwavering. He had faced his fear, and in doing so, he had found his resolve. He would not fall to this creature. He would not let the memory of his fallen comrades be in vain. The battle raged, a dance of death between man and beast. Ivor fought with the fury of a cornered animal, his sword flashing in the unnatural light.